talk like that. All opinion, no facts. Better run it back.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Be Skeptical. Two generations, infinite opinions, Millennial Dad, Gen Z Son, diving headfirst into dumpster fire conversations over generational topics. If you're looking for the objective truth, you're in the wrong place. No answers, all opinion, no facts. So be skeptical. What we're trying to do is don't believe everything you hear, don't believe everything you see. Throw it against your morals, your values, your wisdom, and see where it sticks. Just don't listen to what you hear and don't listen to what you see all the time. So this is our fourth episode or third. Yeah, this is our third episode. Yeah. Definitely appreciate everybody that's watched so far, that's commented, liked, those few subscribers that we have. Let's keep it going, but we're going to dive into it. So today's theme, I kind of built it out. Doesn't mean we got to follow it. And it's a perfect topic because it's the Perfectionist Dad versus the Freestyle Son. Yeah. I plan, you just go with the flow.
I plan. It's just I plan in more of a open way. I don't plan for perfection. I plan for there's an end goal. I don't care how I get there. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. And that's you got to have an end goal when you're going into something.
Absolutely.
And me being a perfectionist, I do it with planning.
Right. Yeah, that's perfectly
but
fine.
There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place to plan. There's a time and a place you got to go off the fly of your pants. So
absolutely, yeah.
So I'll kick it off. So why do you care if every detail is perfect when a lot of your generation calls effort cringe?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
I do care about detail. Effort isn't necessarily cringe. I feel like it's just in the culture, people see people that work hard or are extremely dedicated to something. It's like they don't understand it. So, and a lot of people, most of the time, if they don't understand something, they're like, man, that's cringe.
Yeah.
I feel like some people have a certain type of humor, like to be cringe is to be free. That kind of humor, people like that.
Go into that a little bit. To be cringe is to be free, because I don't understand that.
No, it's just like a lot of people call just being yourself cringe or just having a general direct liking to something that isn't popularly liked cringe. Like people called Five Nights at Freddy's cringe for the longest time. Now it's one of the most popular things ever.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter what it is. In all honesty, people will call something cringe regardless of what it is. It just depends on the person, depends on what the topic is. But I feel like people call effort cringe because they don't want to work hard and they want to find an excuse not to work hard. And it's not even just cringe. They won't just say it's cringe. They'll say like, some people would just straight up be like, oh, I'm lazy. It's not necessarily only cringe, but yeah, I feel like cringe is one of the good options. And I feel like it's just because cringe is, if something's cringe, people are like, oh my gosh. And like they hear that word. People hear cringe and they're like, oh my gosh, I can laugh or point at this thing. Like, oh my gosh.
It's like following the bandwagon.
Right. Like you're a loser. Like, Yeah.
It's kind of what we've been saying. They're not being skeptical. They're just being sheep. They're following.
Exactly. They're not
just cattle down the herd.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And the whole time, the person that's putting in all that effort, they're leading people, legitimately.
They're jump starting and they're literally leading the crowd. And it could be going in a bad direction or they could be taking it in the right direction. But
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you got followers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So going off of this, me,
Of course.
When I can't relax is when the kitchen isn't clean.
Oh, yeah.
Like even before I start cleaning or cooking, I have to clean the kitchen. That's just me. Now for you, I think me telling you to clean and stuff like that makes you uncomfortable. So like you have this good enough philosophy and then I'm a perfectionist, right? You're like, oh, that's good enough. Why not? Let's just go. So what do you think about that? Like, you think it's like precision versus impromptu or, I mean, I know we'll reach the same goal in the end, right?
It's just different.
It's just different. It's two tools, but a different outcome, I guess you could say.
Just as successful, just took longer to load, just whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just improvisation is like the most perfect thing in the world to me. If you can improvise just about anything, depending on the subject, as long as it's a useful improvisation, you have a skill that not a lot of people hold. Not everybody can just on the fly do something. Like, I feel like I can do that. You know what I mean?
No, you
I feel
can.
like I've always had that ability to just on the fly do something.
No,
which-
I agree. You're definitely, you can go on the fly and do anything.
Right, and I feel like it's a helpful skill because with sports, I love sports in basketball, lacrosse, even in football.
Yeah.
You have to improvise. You know, in
Oh, yeah.
basketball, you cannot go into a game thinking, you know, like let's say you got a matchup. Your guy, you're like, oh, I'm gonna cross left and then fake right or something. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. You can't plan that out. Basketball or
Instinct.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a plan. It's a flow. You know what I mean? I feel like I move on a frequency, a flow. And I feel like whenever things knock me off my frequency, I can't do as well. I feel like I do really well on my frequency. I move really smooth. I notice people like the way I move on my frequency.
Yeah.
And just like not necessarily like cleaning the kitchen is like knocking me off my frequency.
No, it's just an
like-
example.
Right. No, of course. Just like, I don't know. It's just that frequency and that improvisation is just what keeps me being me. I don't want to be perfect. You know what I mean? You want to be perfect, which is great because you want to succeed the best you can. I want to succeed the best I can, but I don't necessarily care about it looking the prettiest. You know, I'm getting there. I'm making it there, but it's not, you know, it may not look great, but I mean,
So you're saying it's no reflection on yourself. Like you're just going to get it done.
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. And I mean, if I do mess up in something, I will reflect, you know, that's part of the frequency. You got to smoothen things out inside your flow, you know? If I have like a frequency, I mean, it moves in lines, you know? If the frequency has a spike, you know, it goes straight for a little bit, it goes spike, you know, it eventually finds itself back. That's what I try to do.
Back to your rhythm.
I like to stay in a rhythm because it keeps me in a sense of, you know, if something wrong happens or maybe something doesn't go right, I can just keep on going through my flow. I can flow around it. I can go flow through it. You know, kind of like what Bruce Lee, or not Bruce Lee, what, was it Bruce Lee? Who said the water thing?
No, it's Bruce Lee.
Yeah, it was Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You know, he said like water. Water can not only move mountains, it can cut through them, but it can also flow around. It can flow over, you know?
Follow through. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I get that. I guess I'm more of a perfectionist just because I like the routine. And when my routine's broken, you know, it affects me.
Absolutely.
Like if OCD or not, like I know I was a lot worse when I was younger. Nowadays I can let a lot of stuff go for the most part. But my routine, I have it there. And if it's broken throughout, like even my morning routine, like if something's out of my routine, then it'll affect me for a little bit.
Right.
And it used to a lot more when I was younger, but now it's not as bad. But you know, it's my flow, I guess, my rhythm, my flow. And I'm definitely more of a control freak. I won't say a control freak because I even thought about that. Is my perfectionist, is it control or is it just good quality or effort or what? But mine's more so, it's just, like you said, it's my frequency.
I feel like your version of perfection is because you want that control, but you also want that control because you want it to be of high standard. You want it to be nice. So you have to have that control. If you want things to happen, you have to stand up. You got to keep your back straight. You know, as a man, if you want something to happen, you got to raise your voice. You got to stand up for what's right. And I completely understand that. I will as well. You know, my frequency can spike. If I really need something to get done and it's not happening, I will spike. You know, I'll be like, you know, listen to me, do this, do that, you know, take control. But that's part of this rhythm, you know? And I feel like that your rhythm is just you like to take, not necessarily control, but you like to know that you will be listened to. You know, you will be followed and that things will become held to an upright standard. You know, things will be right.
Yeah.
Right, which is great. You know, it's qualities of a person who's going to keep something running great, you know?
No, yeah, because standard, I like higher standards. That's just me.
Absolutely. It's fine.
I keep people at a higher standard, and it's not that I think they're doing a bad job or they're doing a good job. It's just I can see potential in people, and I know the potential they have. So when they fall below the standard that I have in my head, and maybe it's wrong, maybe I'm putting too much on people, and I know I do that a lot with you, but I see your potential.
Absolutely.
I know where you could go and where you can be. And I guess I put it too high a standard sometimes, but I want we
want
said
the
it
best.
last week. We said it last week. We want to win, but we want to win with
Together.
everyone around us, and we want to take us all as a group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
Completely understand that.
I have some high standards.
Yeah, but that's overall. I mean, high standards isn't bad, especially whenever you're a high standards person. I mean, I feel like our mentalities are you're more of like the boss mentality. You like to be the overseer. I like to not necessarily be the worker because I like to be in control. I like to be something that's moving the waters, but not necessarily controlling.
A
I like-
guide.
like a guide, yeah, kind
Yeah.
of more of like a worker. I could be not only just be a worker, but I could be a boss. I can go anywhere. That's the kind of thing I like to do.
No, I'm the same way.
Right.
Like I don't mind getting down in the trenches at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then I can be the voice too. I don't mind being the voice because I like taking care of people. That's something.
I feel like it's just in that it's just like we approach it differently. You know, we have the same kind of frequency. It's just it's approached very differently.
Do you think that's because we're just different, or do you think it's because I have more experience? Or I mean, I'm not trying to judge you anyway. I'm just
Oh,
asking.
you know, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's important because I mean, like, it is crazy how like we have such a similar mentality, but
Yeah.
it's worked. It feels so different. You know what I mean? Like you said, the same tool.
Just
Same-
different outsole
right.
or same result. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Just different tool.
Yeah. I feel like it's just the way you were raised growing up. You worked a lot. You know, that's what you were growing up around,
Yeah.
and you worked a lot. So you're more held up to a working standard, and I'm more held up to, I'd say, you like to work and you like things to be in high condition. I like to, not necessarily things not to be in high condition. I want things to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
But I like it going smoothly, you know. And maybe it's just because I don't want things to go. I think I move in this like smooth frequency because I don't want things to go wrong. But if I move in like something that can flow around things, it doesn't matter what happens. It can still get done.
Yeah. No, you're right. I do like to work. I'm from the generation that work hard, right?
Right. Yeah,
And I even wrote it down. It said, when I grew up, if you don't work, you don't eat. That was the philosophy.
Yeah.
That's just what we did. And going back to last episode, we talked about negative feedback. I flourish in negative feedback.
Absolutely.
And her mom was like, "Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what you do." And sometimes I'm harder on you because of that negative feedback because I point out the negative more than I do the positive.
Right.
It's something I work on, though. It is something I work on.
It's a hard thing to not do sometimes.
And I crave that, and I talked about it. The negative feedback is what I crave for because I want to know what I'm doing wrong so I can better myself. But yeah, that's just me. Difference between me and you, and I've noticed it. I've tried to change to give that positive feedback because even at my job, I try to do the positive feedback because people are always hearing the negative stuff.
Right.
And sometimes you forget about giving the positive. Just it's harder to be in a state of mind where you can give that positive feedback to someone. They're doing a good job. You see the results that they're doing. You see the output of the efforts that they're giving. But sometimes you just forget to go and tell them. But when they do something bad, you want to bring it up to their attention. So you bring that negative up to them and say, hey, this is where you might be failing, but you forget to say, hey, that was a great job. You did amazing. And give them that positive feedback.
Right. I feel like that's where we differ. I feel
Yeah.
like it's kind of like yin and yang. You're the negative, not necessarily you're negative, but you're like that part. You're more of the focus on the negative part. I don't necessarily more focus on the positive. I focus on both. I love knowing both because if I know this side, I know this side. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's because, I feel like the reason you feel like you focus more on the negative. Like, you're very aware of the positive, but you focus more on the negative is just because, I had it in my head that let's go into, how I do it. Like I learned to. I feel like you hold yourself to such a high standard, and maybe you point out the negatives more often than you point out the positives in yourself, which is perfectly fine. You want to be the best you can be, but you got to understand that you need to love yourself before you can hate yourself.
Yeah.
Because what are you to hate something that you can't even understand or love? You know what I mean?
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
necessarily saying hate yourself. I'm just saying,
No, it's hard. That's hard for me.
right, you know,
To love myself is hard.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do. It's a really hard thing to learn because it's just self-love is so weird. I feel like it's a weird thing to learn because you're like, I love myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just
And we talked about it last episode too, but it's definitely something we have to do.
right.
You have to tell yourself you love yourself, and it is hard. It's a hard concept to put in your mind,
Right.
and it may seem weird, but in order to love yourself, you're never going to see the positive in yourself.
Absolutely. And I feel like that also follows out into the real world, you know? In the internal battle, if you're focusing more on the negative of yourself, you're going to focus more onto the negative of others instead of, like kind of like the golden rule.
No, I can see that. I know people do. They do that.
Absolutely.
I don't. I think it's easier for me to love someone else, for sure. I can love someone else way easier than I can love myself, and even a stranger on the street. Like I can care for someone that's a complete stranger, versus taking care of myself. Now, mentally, I try to take care of myself. Physically, I take care of myself.
Very good stuff.
But
Physically.
it's the try to love myself that's hard to do.
Maybe like I said, what you're practicing on the inside, practice on the outside. Maybe practice on the outside what you're practicing on the inside. Maybe
Yeah.
if you feel like, you're spreading all this love out to the people, try to, bring yourself to that worth because you have that worth. You're not any less than anybody else.
Yeah.
You're just as worth as everybody else. You're just as awesome, Think about that, like if you're aware of like, oh yeah, I can show good love to people around me, try to think, like I said, turn the outside in. Put that onto yourself. Put that love onto yourself. You know what I mean?
No, I know. It's something you have to practice for sure.
Absolutely.
It's just like brushing your teeth. You got to do it every day or you're going to forget about it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So going into that a little bit, and if you want to move on, we can move on too. But I know I come from a generation where I get frustrated on that good enough mentality or the half-ass of projects or whatever. So like perfect example. We talked about it a little bit. I had a barbecue food truck. Right. The whole reason that I started that barbecue food truck is because of a Wendy's barbecue sauce. And I tasted it and I said, I want to know how to make barbecue sauce. So then I found out how to make barbecue sauce and I mastered that craft.
Absolutely.
I made pretty good barbecue sauce, I think.
Great barbecue.
Yeah. And then I started watching videos. I started learning stuff. And then I already had a good passion in grilling outside. Yeah. So then I started doing, master fire pits and barbecue pits and cooking over an open fire. And then that led into, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this every day. Unfortunately, due to my full-time job, I got pretty successful at my barbecue truck. And then, I had to stop just because of so much stress because I was doing about 100 hours of work a week. But and I didn't want to freeze anything. So
right.
I literally...
Fully fresh.
Yeah, it was fresh. As soon as we got to the site, it was just perfect and ready to go. Oh, yeah. But I'm okay with pushing the effort and putting in more effort. And I'm not saying you're not, by the way. I know the things that you're compassionate about, you are 100% in. But I don't think I want to do anything halfway. Like I try to do it the right way the first time so I don't have to repeat myself later and do it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I'm more of I will do it now instead of sit and wait and do it later. Because I'd rather chill later. Like me and your mom are completely different on that. She'll let something go until the dead of night and then she'll start doing it.
Yeah,
me,
that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Go
me,
friggin' do the dishes at or not even that, dude. She'll be like, go vacuum and clean up the house at 10 p.m.
Yeah, yeah. But me, I'll do it as soon as I get up.
Right,
I'll do it as soon as I get up, and then I'll go and I'll do my thing and chill, relax, or whatever all evening.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just my mindset. I don't want stuff to wait.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I do the same thing. I definitely get that from you.
Sometimes. You can overlook a lot.
I don't keep my room clean. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you can overlook. You can overlook a lot.
But whenever it comes to like school, as of recently, whenever it comes to working out, whenever it comes to sports, whenever it comes to, even cleaning after dinner, no matter how much you think I don't do it, I put 100%
You do it more than your sister, for sure. But I'm like I said, I'm. It's not that I'm doing it in a frustration thing, because it's weird. Because a lot of these things are methodical and they give me peace, and it's almost like a meditative state thing. So
if something,
cooking or cleaning or working in the garage on a project or anything, it's just it gives me my peace.
Right.
And I see that. Like I guess you got to find your way into work. Like you have to find your meditative state.
You got to find that flow.
Yeah, you got to find that flow. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's why, like I said, I feel like that's why I'm so comfortable with the flow that I have, because it gets me through everything. It pushes my work. You just got to find a way to flow through everything.
What about you? Do you have any questions?
Oh yeah, I do.
We can be moving on.
I got they're not as, I feel like they're not as serious as last time. I feel like last time
that's fine.
Serious. Yeah, absolutely. But they're still pretty good. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, what celebrity deaths impacted you the most, do you feel?
Ooh.
Whenever you were younger, I'd say like high school or anything younger than high school, maybe even into your 20s.
Ooh, I've seen a lot. I saw Robin Williams. I saw Princess Diana.
MJ.
Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. I saw Dale Earnhardt. I know maybe not a lot of people are NASCAR fans, but I watched that one live.
That one was crazy.
You didn't see 9/11.
I didn't.
So I was in high school when that happened.
I was a little late on that one.
Yeah. The newest one, I know it's not high school, but Charlie Kirk, that one had an impact on me.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't know. There's been a lot of celebrity deaths that I've seen. Even like Burt Reynolds or something. Robin Williams was pretty impactful. I'm not gonna lie there, because it was just so quick, unexpected. Yeah. Steve Irwin. That one was hurt. That one hurt too. So that's good that you brought that up. Like, why do you think celebrity deaths have such an impact on people? We've never met them before. We've never even spoken a word to them. They've never written to us or spoken a word to us. Like, why as a society does celebrity deaths affect us? Is it like you're losing your hero kind of thing, or what do you think there?
I like to go back to whenever Kobe died.
Oh, Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Yeah. That one was rough too.
I go back to Kobe because personally, basketball. I love basketball. Kobe was like the guy for hustle and effort, Mamba mentality, amazing. Pushing yourself to become the best you can be, stuff like that. It was his morals, the way he pushed himself. It's just the way you see them and the way in the messages they put out. It's like a comfort character. You know what I mean? It's the same reason we all love music. Mm-hmm. I don't know a single person that won't listen to music.
That's true.
Legitimately, we all have favorite artists. We all have favorite this, and that. It's like we find comfort in these characters and these celebrities and like these people. I don't know why, to be honest, but I know that it's because we do find comfort. We find entertainment. We find comfort. We find humor.
Does it take us out of reality? Is it just taking us out of our lives just for a moment, maybe?
I feel like that's why a lot of people do. You don't have to focus on your own life so much. You feel like maybe, we all have dreams. Mm-hmm. I'd love to, stuff like that. I'd love to be like a famous singer, and I see, why is my mind blanking? I love music. I would see like Michael Jackson, Millionaire, people love him, stuff like that. It's just like, I feel like it does take us out of that reality, and it gives us more. For me personally, I don't look up to these people like, oh, I'm jealous of them. I look up to them and I'm like, I can be there one day. I feel like
gives you hope.
It gives me hope.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one big reason celebrities help us out so much. Because, I mean, the world can be very bleak and very bland and very sad, but you see these people, they got stories to tell for days, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, I mean, even like Kobe. I mean, he would always talk about just being in the gym 24/7. It's just what he did, And
He was always on
put
the
in that
court.
work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Always put in that work. And that got him to where he was. And you see that and you're like, wow, I can do that. And you can, And you see these people doing this and you're just like, yeah. It gives me hope to push myself even more sometimes. Maybe it doesn't, I mean, like
Gives
for me
you,
personally.
so it gives you that extra motivation?
Kind of.
I mean, I could see that. It can give you a little bit of motivation. I definitely think it gives people a break from reality, I guess. I mean, I know we've talked about social media multiple times, but it's the same thing. It just kind of gives you relief from your reality, and people take too much advantage of it. On my part, I think. I mean, a lot of people should go out and do something productive. I believe they should do more stuff that are productive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I get home from work. I've worked all day. I get home. I want to brain rot.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I want to brain rot for a little bit and just chill and watch some TV, maybe hang out beside your mom or whatever. But it's that break in your reality. You just takes you into another, I just kind of imaginary zone, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
And you can
absolutely.
step into the celebrities' roles, right? You can step into their life through their whatever, video or social media or sports. I don't know. That's interesting, though, because I've never really thought about celebrity deaths and how they impact you, but they do, even though you've never met those people before.
Yeah, it's always been an interesting thing to me.
Yeah. So maybe kind of stepping back a little bit, we had a couple conversations this week, especially last night. So
Yeah.
going back to the negative feedback stuff. So do you think I'm too hard on you?
No.
Do you think I'm reflecting my preference that we kind of talked about, needing that negative feedback for you?
So that part, I agree. I feel like maybe you reflect that self off of yourself onto me.
Yeah.
But I personally, I don't take it to heart. Obviously I'm listening, but I'm not taking it to heart. I don't feel like you can be too hard on me. I mean, I'm a very.
I try not to be.
I mean.
Your mom thinks I'm super hard on you, but
I mean, you've had your moments, but in all honesty, it's hard for someone to like be hard on me. Pause. I don't know. I didn't want to say that, bro. That's okay.
okay.
Okay, yeah, but it's hard. I feel like I don't personally experience like, oh, someone's like, they're angry at me. Like, obviously I could tell you're upset at me
Yeah.
or like you're disappointed or you just want the best for me. And I know you personally, you want the best for me and that's why you're so hard on me, which I'm fine with, You want the best out of me and you push that 24/7. In all honesty, it could be worse. You could care less, You could be doing this just because you hate me. And I know you don't.
Yeah.
And so personally, I don't feel like you're too hard on me. I feel like you have moments to where like you're excessive with what you're doing, but like I'm not like caring all
Maybe
that
it's because
much.
I feel like you're not hearing me.
It's I'm listening. It's just I don't like to act like I am.
Yeah. So I think you were just like me, period.
Think so?
Oh, 100%. Like, I know you don't see it yet, but I was a different person when I was your age. And it seems you are exactly like me because you want to trial by error or trial by fire, I guess you could say. I did the same. I did the same thing. I was the same way. We talked about that last night. But it was sometimes costly to me. Like, it really was hard sometimes. And I had to go through a lot to actually change. And I told you, a little bit of my story last night. I didn't go into it super deep,
Right.
just because I'm not a talker. But
No, that's fine.
but yeah, I had to go through some true trials before I changed myself and actually tried to change into something where I knew I could project myself into success.
Right.
Because the trial that I was going down, the trail that I was going down, it was taking me down hard and it was going like deep and black
Right.
places.
Deep and black. Is
Yeah.
that how you like it?
No. I don't know. Ask your mom. But Anyway, now I was going through it. I was going through it,
Absolutely.
and then I had to I did a 180. I had to completely change what I was doing.
All right.
So
I want
that's
to.
why I moved here. And I
fair.
never would have met your mom, or never would have had you guys. So
It's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like
so that's where you can go back and reflect on your decision making. And you can actually see outcome. It takes years sometimes, but it's pretty cool when you get a little
it is
older.
pretty cool.
When you get a little older, you'll be able to see that.
The weird thing is, I feel like whenever you talked about it last night. You said you develop things that I developed that took me years to develop so quickly, and I feel like you said it was like almost like your DNA passed. I believe we talked about this before. Like the soul passes through the DNA. You know, kind of like you gain parts of somebody. You know?
Characteristics that didn't necessarily reflect on experience. Yeah.
Right. I feel like I have the ability to project myself into the future in the most successful. I feel like personally, you think that I'm not at that moment. You think I'm not being able to project myself into the future, and I feel you maybe not feel like I'm not necessarily on like a bad path, but you feel like you say I like to test the waters, trial by fire, stuff like that. Which, in all honesty, I feel like sometimes if I really think about, I think about a lot of things. I mean, I told you, my brain moves at an accelerated rate of however fast it wants. I can't control it. You know, I can think about something. It's one of the reasons I feel like I'm so good at that.
No, I get it. I get it because I do the same thing.
Right.
Like my brain moves faster than I can write or type or talk sometimes.
Right, but like I feel like I mastered that kind of flow. You know what I mean? I can not necessarily control it, but like I'm riding the waves, you know, like how a surfer doesn't control the waves, but he can ride them. He can move with the flow of it. I feel like that's what I'm at. You know what I mean? I see the end of whatever the surfers call it, whenever
The break.
the break. I can see the break, and I'm going towards it. And you know, sometimes you wipe out. You know, and I feel like you see me wipe out more than you see me. You know, whenever that wave.
No, that's not true. I don't see you
so?
wipe out. I mean, I can see you wiping out if you continue on that wave. But no.
Absolutely, but I feel like I don't know.
But I don't think you're gonna. I think you're just like me. I think it's gonna take that fall, that crash under that wave, and the board hitting you in the face before you actually start making better decisions.
I mean, I've had.
It's not that you're making bad decisions.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You're a good
I'm
kid.
not. Yeah.
You're not a kid anymore, but you're an amazing young man. How about that? But I would prefer you not to experience the pain and the suffering that I experienced. I'd rather you have a good life and go without it.
Absolutely, but I understand. But I'm not saying like I want to.
I'd rather you suffer. I'd rather you suffer from something else that I didn't suffer from.
Right, but
Yeah.
some things in life are just meant to happen. I 100% believe that. Maybe I am supposed to suffer some of the things you suffered.
Maybe.
Maybe you're going to suffer some things I've suffered before. Mentally, you know? I mean, I've had moments in my brain I was just like, wow, I didn't think I could ever even think about this, you know? Maybe you'll have moments like that. And maybe I'll have moments in my life where I made a bad decision. I didn't even realize I made a really bad decision. Like you've talked about, you know? You brought up the fact like...
It's like you don't want to ask for permission. You want to ask for forgiveness later. I think that's how you are sometimes.
Funny.
That's how you are. I'm the same way.
I don't know.
Less as I got older. I mean, you're a risk taker. You're a risk taker just like me. I'm a risk taker. My risk appetite is high for a lot of things. Now, as I've gotten older, some of the things my risk appetite is almost zero. And back when I was your age, you know, it was 100%.
Right.
But I've changed.
I feel like your risk, that it was at this point was more of like that adrenaline high.
Oh, 100%. I chased it.
You're on that adrenaline high. Whenever I'm on this risk scale, of what can I do that can push me somewhere in a better place? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll take the risk that's more of the adrenaline high, you know, just because I wanted to. I don't know why. But a lot of the time, I feel like I push a risk that's going to push me to success. Maybe I take
No. Yeah, I do the same
big
thing.
step into something.
I try to do the same thing.
You know,
I'm
I feel
willing.
like that's what I'm at.
Yeah, I'm willing to take the risk if I know it could have potential.
Right.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm not one to not shoot my shot and never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd rather shoot it, see what happens, see if I miss the target completely, or maybe you hit it dead on.
Right. And I feel like that's what I like to do.
I mean, that's why like every time I get a hobby, I take it to the max. And you've done that a little bit. I don't think you've done it as much as I have, but I think you will in the future.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have I guess you don't have the funds as much as I have had as a young adult and stuff. You're going to get there eventually.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I've had all kinds of hobbies. I did the food truck. I did blacksmithing, and I got all the stuff and started and never really did much after I started it and all that stuff. It's just like I will get all the best equipment. I will get all the things that I need to do the hobby. I'll learn it to where I think I've pretty much got it mastered, and then I drop it.
Right.
Like I've done that so many times.
And I feel like it's just because you've never really, I feel like it's just, you're not a hobby person, but you want to be, you know what I mean? You want to have something you can have that obsession and attachment to. You have your attachments and obsessions, but I feel like you like having an attachment and obsession. You know, sometimes you get bored.
I think my main hobby is learning. I want to learn things. And then when I learn it, I move on to the next thing. I mean, it was probably it was right before COVID. I heard someone say leaders read, and I never read ever. And I still can't read. Like I'm a visual learner, but it's hard for me to read like on a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
Like my brain just goes all over the place. But I can listen to audiobooks. I mean, I can listen to audiobooks and I can memorize it. It's crazy. But ever since then, when I heard that leaders read, I started listening to audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And I think I've averaged 50 to 60 audiobooks a year since I started.
I'd say so,
yeah. Yeah, and I still do. But I mean, I have a long drive to work, so it helps.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely, we talked about it a little bit, I have an addictive personality when it comes to stuff. Like when we talked about video games a little bit, that's kind of why I don't play them as much as I used to. And it's like Clash of Clans. I was so addicted to that.
$1,500 down the drain.
Yep. Just that instant click more, get more. I don't even remember what they are now. Diamonds.
Gems.
Yeah, gems. But I have that addictive personality where whatever I do, it's hard for me not to make the decision to move forward, I guess, if that makes sense.
You see that, like you said before, you see that target, you want to either nail it on the head, which you'd love,
or see if I miss, or
see
whatever.
if you miss,
yeah.
which you would love just as much. And I feel like sometimes that is an impulse that we have that just triggers us to either do good things or it could trigger us to do bad things. You know, it can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could have easily
$1,500 on Clash of Clans or learn how to blacksmith. You know, a skill. You know.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot of skills through that process,
right.
Just because I have an interest in it, for initially not knowing what it is.
You don't know,
and then I'll watch a video, or then I'll still go buy something to start it, and then it's like the latest one is flying.
Yeah, I
wanted to get my pilot's license, and it's just really expensive. It's the only reason I haven't finished it, but I love it. Moving on, what you got? What's your next question? I know you said you had a couple.
I have one more.
Okay.
I feel like nowadays,
mm-hmm.
toys are so crap. Like,
oh yeah,
and they're making them crappier and crappier, and they're just trying to make them terrible so we could focus on the phones and stuff. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe I'm just getting older, because maybe I'm not as interested in toys anymore. I don't know, but I guess my question is,
mm-hmm.
do you think toys are just an idea of a young kid, whenever you get older, you just start losing hope in them, you don't like them anymore, or do you think it's just they're getting worse now.
I would definitely say toys are garbage compared to the toys that I had when I was younger.
No, absolutely.
But
I can agree with that.
I don't think it's necessarily an immature thing or something that's only for a kid. Because, I have a bunch of stuff that I've bought that was toys that I had from when I was a child.
Right.
But I have them as a nostalgic thing. It's not like I took them out of the packages and played with them.
Right.
Right now, they're probably sitting in a box somewhere in the storage. But one day, I want to put those inside of my office or a man cave or something. I just want to put them up and look at them and see them.
Right.
Just because I had so much fun with it, and it reminds me of when I was younger.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if you're 18-year-old and you're sitting there and you're playing with something like you're 6 years old, might be a little issue there. But, I mean, I still enjoy Legos.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody's gonna not ever be
Yeah.
enjoyed by Legos, dude.
I mean, I used to love it. When you and your sister would get stuff during Christmas and your birthdays and stuff, I love sitting with you and putting that stuff together, building it up for you guys to play with it. Like taking it out of the package. Like, it's still my kid spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love to still get Legos. It's just $60 for
A small box.
this big.
Yeah.
You know, like what the heck?
That's funny. They just released the Death Star. Did you see that?
I did. Like
It's the
$800.
highest. No, it's 1,000. The most expensive Lego set they've ever put out. The Death Star.
Is
I
it
forget
like-
how many
is it
pieces
like a
it is.
one-to-one replica though? Is it like genuine? Like, is there a bunch of rooms in it, or is it just a ball? Can you open it up? Like, I don't know.
I think it's like a cross section.
I heard about it.
It's a cross section. Yeah, I saw people waiting in line for it, and people were buying like 2 or 3.
Wow. Oh, because they're gonna resell it. 'Cause
No. I mean, there was hobbyists, but I think they were only allowed to buy up to 2 per person. But some people buy one to keep it in the box, and the second one to build.
Right.
Yeah,
Um.
but I'm a nerd like that. I did that.
Absolutely. Did you see the Deku Tree? The Legend of Zelda one? $250, and it was maybe a 300-piece Lego set.
Really?
Yeah, I was nuts. I wanted to buy it because I was like, I love Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda is my favorite game. But
Yeah.
I look into it and I'm like, I'm not paying $250 for some Temu Legos, dog. Like what?
Well, I mean, honestly, that'll probably be the cheapest it'll ever be, though.
Oh no, I think it's gonna lose value.
No, it'll go up. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like all the Star Wars stuff.
Dude, the Star Wars.
It's all went up. I have some Minecraft Legos that the first run of Minecraft minifigure Legos, the
Little,
small
like,
ones.
where it would just be the bricks.
The small one bricks. Yeah. I still have those in a box. I bought them for,
You bought 2 of them because I remember I had one I played with.
I have all 4 of them. Oh, I bought 2 of the original, but I have them all now, and they're worth, the 4 set, I think they're worth like $500-$600.
Probably more than that.
And I only paid like $30 each for them.
They're probably worth more than that, in all honesty.
I don't know. Last time I looked at it, they were worth like $300 or $400. And I have a few Pokemon cards that I bought that I never opened.
Gonna grow in
And
value
they've-
infinitely.
Quadrupled in value.
Right.
I have them in the vinyl or the
In the box.
what is
The
it?
safety box.
The box doesn't allow UV light or anything.
Yeah,
So
that's nuts.
yeah. All right. So I thought about some ideas and I ran it past you. So
Right.
I'm kind of here at the end of the episode. It's kind of self-reflection, and it's we might be the problem. So it's self-reflection. So it's just kind of a moment to say, maybe it's not other people, but it's me. And I think self-reflection is good. We've talked about it a little bit. You've got to self-reflect. That's part of being skeptical.
It's gotta be human.
So I think that I confuse standards with respect sometimes. And what that means is when they don't meet the standard, I feel disrespected. And I don't know, this is just me self-reflecting. And maybe your mom helped me out with a little bit too. But do you think that's true? Do you think that when people don't meet the standard that I feel disrespected versus it's just I have too high a standard on them?
I think nowadays respect is no longer a standard because respect used to be a standard and I don't think it is anymore. I feel like people think it's no longer a standard, even though it is.
Yeah.
Respect is 100% a standard. You should respect every single person you talk to.
Yeah.
I feel like people nowadays are like, oh, I don't got to do that. You know, the friggin' waiter at my McDonald's, like this Mexican restaurant
wherever.
I'm at, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have to respect them. I don't know them. You know, I feel like people have lost.
Because they're below them.
not
They
even
feel like they're below them.
kind of, yes.
Yeah.
But more of like, I feel like people just don't treat respect as a standard. They treat it as more of an option. And I feel like that's probably why you maybe get so upset about it because, yeah, I mean, we were all taught respect growing up. The golden rule, the cartoons, what do the cartoons used to push out? They used to push out, respect, love everybody, And I feel like that's what you grew up with. That's what I grew up with. I mean, I get upset whenever people don't respect me because respect is a standard. I don't, regardless of the culture of anything, respect isn't something you should have to. Well, obviously, if you're not respectful, you didn't earn the respect back. But just neutral ground, everybody should be respectful, and that's not the neutral ground it is anymore.
I think, yeah, I agree. It's the exact opposite.
Right.
People don't think they have to put an effort towards anybody,
But-
especially strangers. People are so disrespectful to strangers nowadays. I see it all the time.
I don't get it. But I feel like there are some moments where you confuse certain things with respect and standards, which, like you said here, I feel like maybe you have a certain area of respect, and I feel like certain things are more classified as respect to you and not necessarily a standard. And if they don't qualify of that respect, they're not meeting your standards, and now you're all the way angry because they didn't meet both, or maybe they messed up one, and messing up one messes up both because you hold your respect to your standards. Because I mean, in all honesty, the way we respect people and the way we treat other people is a part of our morals. That's a part of our standards and our code as a people.
Used to be words meant something. Your word meant something.
I mean, they still do. It's harder.
Not
to
with
get
everyone
control.
anymore.
Right. But yeah, no, it's a good point. I feel like it's both sides. It's yes and no.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of a self-reflection that I had is I feel like maybe I'm holding people to a higher standard, and when they don't meet that standard, I feel disrespected because maybe I gave my intent, I gave the standard, I set the levels, and then when people don't make it, maybe I just hold people too high of a standard. I don't know. But that was just me.
You can never hold people too high.
Yeah.
If you want, as a people, we should all want to bring everybody up.
Yeah.
We should always want to win, and holding people to a high standard is not a bad thing. If they don't meet it, whoop-de-doo, they didn't meet it.
Maybe I need to have more grace.
Maybe not necessarily that. You can still be strict and hold them to a standard, and still everything be cool and be graceful. Maybe more of like, don't let them manipulate your expectations for them, but work around things. Obviously it's something that is a problem in their growth, in the way you're pushing them.
Yeah.
If it's a problem, you should probably want to get rid of it. You can see that it's not good for them. But if it's necessarily, that's not something bad, because a lot of our faults in our personalities and in who we are as people are part of what brings us so much success. You got to recognize your flaws to recognize how good you are. Sometimes. And your flaws can be good too. You can have good things in your flaws, because that's an area that you know of. You got your strengths and your flaws, and you can take control of those flaws, and that can be a part of your strengths. You can bring everything together.
What's an example?
So I feel like, like you said, that you feel like you hold people too high of a standard. That's also a strength. You're holding people highly because you want the best of them.
Yeah.
There's a yin and a yang to everything, you got to see that.
So you're saying that could be a fault as well as a strength?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of, as long as it's not directly hurting somebody, the faults that we have as people is what brings us our strength.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that, and it made me think of a book on how Pixar was started and their work environment. Right, there was no wrong answers. There was no dumb questions. When people had an environment where they could actually make mistakes, bring up their ideas, be creative, without people thinking harshly of them.
Absolutely.
Or negative of them. So it's that Pixar Inc. book. It's really, really good. And it's how they created that environment for early Pixar, and made some amazing movies and shorts and TV shows and stuff.
Right.
But they created that environment. It was different,
Mhm.
so people were not afraid to fail.
Absolutely.
So
I
yeah,
feel like
maybe that's something I need to start working on.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any things you think you might be the problem? I know I just sprung it on you this week, so if you don't,
No,
that's
yeah,
fine.
I definitely do. I definitely do think there's things that I have a problem in that I am not, the strong suit.
Okay, what is it? Let's
don't know.
hear it.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely know.
But you
that-
know there's some out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm not perfect. I know that there's faults in my system, and I do need to reflect over that. And maybe it'll take me 5 minutes. Maybe it'll take me a year. Hopefully quicker than that, so I can bring it on to the next episode. You should turn into. But no, I can't think of anything right now. I'm gonna be
No,
honest
that's
with
fine.
you.
That's fine.
It's a little bit of a big question, but I definitely can bring it back. I can put it on the plate.
Okay. Self-reflection. That's something that I think everyone needs to be doing. I think that's how people get better.
That's what makes
And
you
that's-
flow.
And it makes your flow better. Yeah. Because I think people don't self-reflect enough, and they think, I'm going to be how I want to be, and I don't care how other people are or think of me, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
Like, don't change for other people. But I think there's flaws that people need to identify to be better.
Right.
Like, maybe you can't find that special person out there. And they're like, where's all the men? Where's all the women at? And you know what? If you've dated 30, 40 people, maybe you have the problem. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you need to do some self-reflection to change yourself and find that right person. Maybe that's what it's holding everything up.
Right. I was thinking about it, where you said, you got to recognize our flaws so we become stronger. I mean, like I said, I was talking about how our flaws make us stronger as well.
Yeah.
Just in general, we group them together. Like, let's say every 4 steps, your right foot trips.
Yeah.
How can you better that? Not necessarily change it, but how can you use that to better you as a whole? Maybe if you're like a track runner or something, you play sports, you play basketball, and every 4 steps you're gonna go right, you're gonna trip right. Maybe you can learn how to
Use that.
exactly. You could
Make that into a move or something.
exactly. Learn.
Or
how,
you could also anticipate it then.
right. You can
You know what's
anticipate
going to
it.
happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
That's true.
find those parts in yourself and that self-reflection that you can maybe not change, but you can bring the good out of. Bring the good out of your whatever you got. There's
Yeah.
always good in the dark. There's always light in the dark. There's always good in the bad. You just got to understand that you got to find those things.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. So, I mean, we're coming up on the end of the show here. Do you have any last minute reflections or anything?
Any reflections? Like I said, find the good and the bad. Don't focus on one or the other.
Yeah.
Stay in the middle. Like, subscribe, push it out to the friends, watch the videos, go to Spotify, whatever. Push it out. If you like it, maybe somebody else will. Repost on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. It don't matter. We love all the support we're getting, though. Continue pushing it out. We love working on the show. It's great. We love you guys.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, we're not going to be here if you guys aren't watching or listening. So if you enjoy what you've been hearing, if you enjoy what we're putting out there, it is for, we're not just doing it to do it. Like, we really genuinely want our message to get out there, maybe to help someone. It could be that one person that's struggling with something, or maybe, who knows? If we can help one person, I think it's all worth it. So this week, we talked about perfection versus the good enough mentality, or the improvised type personality. So maybe perfection's about the results, right? It's not about the control. I think that's what we want to do. Whether you take a different route than I take, it's the same goal, same results. So definitely appreciate everyone that's out there. This has been episode 3 of Be Skeptical. Again, don't listen to everything you hear. Do not listen to everything you see. Throw it against the wall. Do your research. Make sure you guys do that self-reflection before you make a decision or move on. So we'll be back next week. We're definitely 2 generations, one set of tools, 0 patience with one another sometimes. But I think all in all, we are mostly the same person. Just different experiences.
I can agree.
If you guys have any ideas, make sure you drop it in the comments. Like, subscribe. Let us know what you guys want to hear, what you want to see, and we'll accommodate to that. So
Absolutely.
appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
in the track.